Hello and welcome to our video on the data tracker. Now the one that you're looking at here is just an example data tracker. You'll want to look at your child's data tracker to be able to see how he or she is performing. But I want to go over what each assessment is and how you can help your child on that so that you can use the data that you see and you know exactly what your child needs help with. So on the data tracker, you'll see it'll be your child's name, grade, teacher's name, school year. It will show you the skill that we're testing. It's right here, the colored parts. And then this T1, T2, T3, that's actually test 1, test 2, test 3. So if we test the child and they already mastered it, then we don't test again, we just move on. If they haven't mastered it, then we will test again and we'll put the score there. And then we just keep working with them until we get to mastery. So that's why there are multiple test spots right there for your child. You'll see right here that the testing numbers correlate down here with the graph below. So that's just kind of a visual. It kind of helps our kids. All right, the next thing I want to point out is our colors. So red, if it shows up red, that means that it's below grade level, and it's okay to have red because these are skills that your child should know by the end of second grade. So they might come and not know it at all, but we want to see, are they growing? So red would be below. Yellow would be near, green would be on grade level, and white would be mastery, okay, or above. We're going to go over each skill, and I'll explain what each one is. So the first one you have right here in the purple, it says CVCC, and then CCVC, and CCC blends. These are blends, which is consonants. So C stands for consonant, V is vowel, and so it's taking the consonants, and consonant blends are when you have blends that are together, they still hold their sound, but they're said kind of together a little more quickly. So SL, SL, and SM, SM, FR, FR, okay? So you have the consonants and you blend them together, or STR. So we want them to blend them together as they're reading them, okay? They still hold their individual sounds. They were just read kind of simultaneously. The next one we have is digraphs. So digraphs are when you have consonants that actually come up with a completely different sound when you put them together. So example, the SH would be sh, instead of the S saying S and the H saying H. Putting them together would be a sh sound. So there are multiple digraphs that we test, and not only do we test them in isolation as you see here, but then we'll put them into words and see if they are able to read words with those digraphs and blends, and same thing with the trigraphs. The next thing we have on here is open and closed syllables. So an open syllable and a closed syllable are basically based on where the syllable line is drawn. So where we're having that natural syllable break. So this one is a closed syllable because you can see when we're doing the word napkin, napkin, right? So it's 2 syllables, and we draw the line after the P. That puts the vowels right here. That there's a consonant next to the line where the natural break is. The vowel is not close to that line, therefore it's going to make the short sound, ah. So this is a closed syllable word. A open syllable word, right here for open, open, the line is right here, O, right here. Therefore, this is going to make the long vowel sound, O, so open. All right. Next one we have is sight words. They're in second grade, so they have a lot of sight words because they've had 2 years of practicing reading. So some of the words in sight words are words that they used to use as practicing sounding out, but now they've been exposed to them so much that we just want them to be automatic in reading. We don't want to have them sounding out every word that they read because it slows them down. It makes it really hard to comprehend. So sight words are words that they've had enough exposure to that they can just read automatically. Like early, voice, noun, clear, the, and. So the words we just want them to memorize. Silent E and CVCE words, they are words that basically have your vowel, consonant E. And so instead of like if you take the E away on this one, it would be not, but then putting the E, now you have the word note. So the E makes the O say the O sound. Vowel teams are when you have 2 vowels together, and the exception of the IGH, but they're vowel teams together that make up different sounds, or they're quiet. So you have examples right here of vowel teams that we will test the children on in isolation, kind of like as you see here, but then we also put them in words as well. When we're talking about R-controlled vowels, those are your vowels, but they're followed by an R. So we tell them they're being bossed around by the R. So they make a different sound. So you got the or, the the R kind of sound. So those are examples of the R-controlled vowels. For consonant LE syllables, they're just, they're your words that end in the LE. So example, bottle, little. For vowel teams, for digraphs and diphthongs, they're slightly different ones. This is like the oo, the ow, the oi sound. So that's an example of those. This one kind of has a mixture of them. So if you want to know specifically, you can reach out to your teacher. But here we have silent letters. So where you have two consonants, but there you don't pronounce both of the sounds. So this would be right? Because you don't say the W. Or the KN, like in the word no, but you don't say the K, you just say the N. So here's some examples. And compound words are two words that are stuck together to make one word. So example, bathroom. So two full words, but they're put together to make one word. Butterfly would be another example. And then inflected endings is adding the ed, the ing, so it's where you're dropping the e to add the ed, or you're having to add the consonant to add the ing. So here's some examples right here of words that they read. Next we have the schwa and the affixes and the roots. So schwa examples is it's with the sound at the beginning, so above, alone. And then examples of the prefixes, so you have your prefixes, your affixes, and your suffixes. So unhappy or painless. Okay. So that covers most of the skills that we have right there. And then this assessment right here, the ORR, this is one where we read with your child and we're checking their ability to read, which we call fluency. So we're reading and we're tracking, are they reading the words correctly, and then the speed of how fast they're reading. And then we're also asking them questions about what they're reading. And so both of those scores coming together give us a letter of the alphabet. And the letter kind of gauges what range that they're reading in. So for second grade, we would like them to be an N independently by the end of the year. And so same thing goes with the color coding. If they are red, that means they're not there below, yellow near, and then we have them at green, at, white above, okay? And then the benchmark is a combination of all of your ELA skills together. So it's their ability to read multiple passages, answer questions about those passages, and also write about those passages. So there's a lot that goes into that. So they usually start out pretty low at the beginning of the year, but we see them progress quite a bit by the end of the year when they start to put all of those skills together. Fluency, which we measure by words per minute, we actually time them for 1 minute and we see how many words that they can read correctly. So we want them to read about 100 words a minute, and we want them at about 98 or above accuracy. So what that means is that we want them to read fluently, where they're not having to stop and sound out every word, because it slows down their ability to understand what they're reading about. In second grade, there's a big jump in fluency because in kindergarten and first grade, we're teaching them how to read, and we're covering all those phonics, and we're still covering them in second grade. But now that they've been exposed, we're really just building up that automaticity. We just want them to really become more fluent, more natural in their reading. And we want them to read them correctly, so we don't want them to make a lot of mistakes. It's like being in like a Teams call, or you're calling somebody, and if you don't have good reception, if you get a lot of errors, then that causes you to not comprehend. So we want about 98 or higher so that they're not missing a lot of words. Missing one word, they can still kind of use context clues to figure out what's going on. But if they're missing multiple words, then that really makes it hard for them to comprehend. So that goes over the assessments that we have for second grade for ELA. If you have any questions, please know that you can reach out to your teacher and they can help you, and they'll let you know some ideas. And don't forget, you can always rescan the QR code We send these reports out at the beginning, middle, and end of the year so that you can see progress for your child. Thanks. Bye.